and Katuba. The road in question, Madam Speaker, it is an economic road. I just want to know from the Minister of Infrastructure if the government has any priorities in dealing with roads in our country, because the road in question is an economic road. And I'm worried the Minister of Copperbelt Province is sleeping there because his province is in question, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the road in question is a road which leads to DRC and many other economic areas like Solwezi and Karumbira. Madam Speaker, can the Minister of Infrastructure assure the people of Copperbelt when this road is going to be done? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
The Copperbelt is not sleeping. I'm sure it was on a lighter moment. The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, I thank the Honorable Member for Kabushi for that follow-up question. He's expanding the question to talk really about the Lusaka-Ndola Road, the dual carriageway. One is tempted to say we shall drag a bulldozer on that road to clean it up. But that bulldozer is no longer effective as a bulldozer, so the Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway, Madam Speaker, is well under progress in terms of the preliminary work that we are doing. We have stated on the floor of this House that because it is economically viable, we are going to use the PPP model of financing. That is the public-private model of financing, partnership. The process is well underway. It was advertised and 7 potential investors applied. An adjudication process was carried out, and it narrowed this to 2 potential concessionaires. And these are further being evaluated, more information being given. The process of evaluating will come to an end, I think, around the 17th of June. At that stage, a concessionaire will have been selected, and the work then will shortly start on that particular road. Part of the requirements, because we know the state of the Lusaka-Ndola Road. Everyone knows that. Part of the requirements of those that succeed, that even as they start the process of constructing a dual carriageway to international bituminous standards, we shall expect them also to make the very bad areas motorable, even as they carry out the full rehabilitation of the road to an international standard. So the Honorable Member for Kabushi has no worry, should not have any worry. This is a working government. In spite of the constraints of financing that we have, we are reaching out to other models of financing to carry out some critical road rehabilitation works where it is necessary. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Point of order by the Honorable Member from Ron.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for your kindness. Madam Speaker, I raise on a very serious point of order, and it is directed to the honorable members on your left through the leader of opposition. Madam Speaker, are the honorable members through their leader in order to keep quiet upon their return to this honorable house on the status of Honorable Member for Chama South, Honorable Mongandu, who acted when they were aware so diligently. Are they in order to keep quiet by failing to tell this August House as to whether Honorable Mongandu is still leader of the opposition? I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker.
Can you please cite the standing order?
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
You have failed to cite the standing order, therefore that point of order is not admissible.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
There is another point of order. Honorable members, we've got a lot of work to cover. Just for your information, we have about 23 reports that are supposed to be considered this sitting, and more than 300 questions which we are supposed to consider. So let's please raise important points of order that are in connection with the procedure.
Yes.
Any breach on the procedure.
Yes.
The honorable member, because I can see 2 points of orders. There's one by the honorable member of Lumezi and the honorable member of Petauke. We'll start with the honorable member of Petauke. Or Chirubi.
Yes. Point of order, Madam Speaker. My point of order is anchored on 3 standing orders. The first standing order, just a few minutes ago, Madam Speaker, I was told to go and dress appropriately. And I think by now I'm dressed appropriately to debate. Madam Speaker, I obeyed your directives. I'm quoting point of standing order 205A. Madam Speaker, I have to quote 2024 that I feel that my privileges in this house have been denied. And I'm anchoring my argument on standing order 206C.
Honorable member, I think now we are going off the way. The same standing orders here which are
Yes.
you are holding there, it says you cannot challenge the decision or the ruling of the presiding officer.
No, I didn't mean to challenge. I wanted to bring to your attention. Yeah.
No,
Because
I
what I'm
don't
talking
think
Challenging.
it's part of challenging because you are touching on the decision or the ruling that I made. If it was on any other issue, yes, we are going to go ahead. But that one, you are basing it on the dress code.
202 gives me the, if you read, it gives me the rights to react to what happened.
Honorable member, there is a procedure. We cannot continue with you because the same standing orders, they will guide you how to go about a ruling which is not in your favor. So can you please just read the standing orders and follow? If you've got a complaint, if you are not happy, please just follow that standing order. The honorable member for Lumezi.
Thank you so very kind, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I intend to take you to Standing Orders 133. Through your discretion, Madam Speaker, as you are aware, we are now moving technologically, Madam Speaker. The news circulating online right now is that of showing engineers trying to renovate the stadium. As you can see, Madam Speaker, we don't know how safe our footballers are because they'll be playing at 18 hours. Madam Speaker, with your discretion, is the minister in order to be seated here when citizens have started entering that stadium, a 65,000-seater stadium, and engineers have moved immobilized, as we can see cranes? Madam Speaker, I seek your serious ruling. Thank you.
That point of order is not admissible. It has nothing to do with the procedure, any breach of procedure in the House. However, if you've got a concern about the people, you are free to interact with the Minister of, is it Youth and Sport? Please, at tea break, you can interact with the Minister and also air your view or your concern. Supplementary question, we continue. The Honourable Member for Ron.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to, in the first place, thank the Honourable Minister for Infrastructure, especially that the road that we're talking about. He recently visited this road and he saw it for himself, and the traffic that keeps on piling, especially during peak hours. Honourable Minister, are you considering, as you are planning to rehabilitate this road, actually starting from Ndola Teaching Hospital up to Bwana Mkubwa, are you considering, due to the big flow or big volume of traffic that uses this road, are you considering, as you start planning, to expand this road either into a two-way lane or four ways, which is two-way up and two-way down, as you plan for this road, Honourable Minister? Thank you.
The Honourable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Madam Speaker, I thank the Honourable Member for Ron, Honourable Chibuye, for that question and that concern. The stretch he has talked about from the roundabout to Bwana Mkubwa is indeed part of the Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway. So when that is done, it will become 2 lanes one direction and 2 lanes the other direction. When the PPP contract is given, we as government will have authority to direct the contractor or the concessionaire to deal with the parts that, in our view, constitute the waste parts. And it is absolutely correct. The entry into Ndola right up to the hospital roundabout is not in a very good condition. And that suggestion from the Honourable Member for Ron will be taken into account. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. There is a point of order by the Honourable Member for Pambashe. What is your point of order, Honourable?
I thank you, Madam Speaker, and it is good to be here after a long time. After 30 days of suspension plus the break. Thank you. Madam Speaker, according to Standing Order number 65, it is clear that as ministers give statements, it must be factual and verifiable. The Minister for Housing and Infrastructure has referred to a very important road project, Ndola-Lusaka dual carriageway. And the Minister, in his own submission, states that it will be undertaken under PPPP. Madam Speaker, according to the PPP Act, it's very clear. If you are going to tender, the project must be with a feasibility study. And that feasibility study must be not more than 3 years. And the UPND government has declared to be a government that is going to govern under the rule of law. And of course, Madam Speaker, the people of Zambia have never seen any advert for a PPP, for a feasibility study for Ndola-Lusaka dual carriageway from the government. That is a solicited bid. A non-solicited bid, a transfer of PPP is then passed on to the bidder. Now the minister has announced to the nation that we have advanced. When we are wondering who did the feasibility study, that they went out for the solicited bid, and the law is very clear that it must be done
not more than 3 years. And further, Madam Speaker, the Public Financial Management Act clearly states that any works, money that are denoted under the Republic of Zambia is a subject of the consolidated account. That is Control 99. And these two acts, Madam Speaker, are at contradiction. That act only empowers the Minister of Finance to commit the country to any engagement or a debt, whether contractual or finance. While the PPP Act also empowers the contracting authority to sign on behalf of the government. Bearing these two contradiction acts in place, and I have not seen any amendment here, how does the minister then intend to proceed? I hope Engineer Kapara would agree with me, and the Minister of Finance would agree with me, because the chairman of PPP. How does then the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Infrastructure will come here and tell the Zambian people that Ndora Dual Carriageway will be signed under the PPP, bearing in mind that these two acts have never been amended? I have not seen any movement for amendment here. I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member, for that point of order. However, before I say something on the point of order, we are still dealing with this question, and I had in fact seen your name there indicating to ask a question, over the same. So that was going to be actually a good opportunity for you to ask the Honorable Minister for more clarity. However, my ruling on the point of order is that I'm going to reserve this ruling so that I get more information about the issue that you've raised. The Honorable Member for Milengi.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving the people of Milengi to contribute to a question about Ndola. Now, Minister, the stretch that the MP is talking about is just a stretch of about 3 kilometers or 5 kilometers, the Ndeke turnoff. Now, what worries me most is that the combined production of cement of about 60 or 70% comes from this area, either in neighboring Masaiti or Bwana Mkubwa. Now, are you exploiting? Now, these companies are always Dangote 400 trucks.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Yeah. Now, there was a distraction from this. But anyway, this Dangote uses 400 trucks. I don't know per day or per month or something like that. Zambezi, Portland. All this cement is produced just in this area. And these people are the beneficiaries and they're contributors to the damaging of the road. Are you exploiting corporate social responsibility? What are they contributing to this stretch? Because the explanation you are giving, PPP, the other models and so many, they'll take long. They'll take us into another rain season. And the entry into Ndola still in a deplorable state. Minister, could you please comment on the corporate social responsibilities of these companies that are contributing to the damaging of the road?
The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. I don't know whether I'm the right person to talk about corporate social responsibility. Maybe that's for those who deal with those companies. My remit as Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development is to deal with the roads that are in question. And the Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway, which we are about to complete in terms of PPP. We are looking at sometime towards the end of July to start this work. Corporate social responsibility to undertake public infrastructure is not as easy as it makes it sound. We are trying to construct a dual carriageway from Lusaka to Ndola to international bituminous standards. And we as government, we feel that the route that we have undertaken in terms of financing this particular project is the appropriate route. In terms of timing, everybody associated with this work is doing their utmost to ensure that we reach financial closure and the work starts as soon as possible. And it will start before the rain season. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. There was a point of order. The Honorable Member for Petauke.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the point of order is on Honorable Member for Kawushi. Was he in order to cut between the Speaker and the Honorable Member on the floor? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much. Can you cite the standing order, Honorable Member? We move on. The Honorable Member for Chama South.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, the stretch in question, I think it's less than 2 kilometers. Those of us who have lived on the Copper Belt, or Ndola in particular, we know it's from where the rail line crosses to Macaulay Flats, somewhere Macaulay Flats. It's a stretch of less than 2 kilometers. Honorable Minister, why should it wait for the PPP and whatever you are explaining, a stretch of less than 2 kilometers? Why can't you mobilize these cement companies that are damaging that road and yourselves as government, work on it, a stretch of 2 kilometers, and knowing that the new Don government promised lower rates when it comes to road construction. It will be cheaply done, Honorable Minister. Why can't you do that? I seek your clarification on that one, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Madam Speaker, I think I come to the House to answer substantive questions. The question was raised on the Ndola-Lusaka dual carriageway. Now, the Honorable Member for Chama South, the Honorable Mungandu, the former leader of the opposition, or the deposed member of leader of the opposition. The issues he's raising, Madam Speaker, government is not blind to these issues. I said earlier on in my answer that when we pick a concessionaire to work on this road, part of the conditions is that they make the most impassable roads possible. What has happened in the past? This particular stretch that he's talking about, I don't know when he was last in Ndola, but this has been worked on using the same people, offering materials, the same companies that he's talking about. So, I think some of the questions being asked must also be factual. There has been some element of work. What I'm talking about is permanent work, which will be achieved by this contract, the PPP contract. But in terms of making it possible, there has been some work done using the same companies, cement companies. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. We move on. Next question, the Honorable Member for Kanchivia.